Kipchumba Murkomen. You'd think by now he'd have learned not to poke the media bear, especially this one, but nope, here we are again in 2025 and the transport turned interior cabinet secretary is still catching smoke from CNN's Larry Madowo, a Kenyan journalist who's been doing the Lord's work. It all started, or rather, reignited after Larry covered the recent protests in Kenya on CNN, something that he's been doing for some time now. Powerful images, hard truths, the kind of coverage that goes global. And of course, this didn't sit well with the CS Murkomen. He came out swinging, accusing Larry of tarnishing Kenya's image. He called it negative reporting. Murkomen said Larry was too focused on the applause of the Western countries. But the same statement and this take turned on him because it wasn't CNN or the Western press that dragged Murkomen for this take. It was Kenyans themselves, because in the first place, Kenyans wanted Larry to be there. Larry, first of all, covered the previous protest, the one that took place in 2024, very, very well. And everything that happened was aired for the whole world to see. So people wanted him present in the mandamanos of 2025 as well. And people, Kenyans, were even keeping tabs with his journey from abroad to Kenya, and ensured that he landed in Kenya safely and arrived to cover the mandamano. So when Kipchumba Murkomen opened his mouth to utter these words, Kenyans on social media came out in full force to defend Larry, reminding the CS that journalism is not PR. Larry's job isn't to sugarcoat anything, it's to report, whether the news is bitter, sweet, or just plain embarrassing. And let's be honest, there's been plenty to report about.
And some of the reporters are so happy, they think they have achieved. Because they are being, cheered in Western countries. They think it's very nice to come and report about your country negatively. This is the issue. That is the question we should be asking ourselves.
But before we rush to the comments, let's take a moment to rewind a little bit to understand why there's tension brewing here. Last year, when Murkomen was still the transport CS, Larry ran a story highlighting the appalling state of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. All the way from flickering lights to leaking roofs, and Murkomen, let's just say he wasn't having it. And at one point, he clapped back, clearly having had enough. During an interview, he stated that Larry is only noticing these things at the airport because he had just gone abroad, as if poor service becomes more visible once you get on a plane to London. That is how he put it. And that's when the Twitter gloves of Larry Madowo came off. The two went on to exchange jabs on X, with Larry using screenshots, sarcasm, and cold facts to counter the remarks from Murkomen. And let's just say X scored that round for Larry.
By the way, I saw one of your friends taking videos at the airport and saying, "Oh, you know this airport,
it was flooded." Right?
No, it's raining on people when they exit." And I was laughing because Larry was with us in the country for the last 50 years when that airport was like that. But suddenly, because he lives now in Maju, his eyes are opened and realized that there is no shade in when you exit JKIA. And
but it's a fact.
And now we are in 2025. It's round 2. And this time, Larry didn't even have to break a sweat. He's been calm and consistently posting Murkomen's recent statements, dissecting them with surgical precision and reminding Kenyans why journalism matters, all the while Kenyans do the hard job of clapping back at Murkomen's statement and defending him. Kenyans tweeted, "The work of Larry Madowo is to cover news accurately, not Murkomenly." This message is also clearly edged in a previous tweet from Larry Madowo that has since resurfaced that states, "My job is to cover Africa accurately, not positively." Another netizen weighed in, saying Murkomen is now going after Larry Madowo for exposing what they paid local media to cover up. The world needs to know what the state is weaponizing: rape to silence protesting women, men, and unleashing goons too. Larry is a national treasure. Attacking him is attacking all of us. With another one saying Larry came to cover protest, but Murkomen expected him to report to the world how he owns an expensive watch worth 30 million, bure kabisa. Larry's latest tweets on Kipchumba Murkomen are regarding the statement from Kipchumba Murkomen that police should shoot anybody approaching a police station. This is what he had to say. Kenya's Interior Minister ordered police to shoot anybody approaching a police station, manufacturing consent for extrajudicial killings under the guise of protecting armories. Police lied that a teacher killed himself in a cell. What stops them from lying again, he asked. And in another tweet, he said, regular Kenyans had the Interior Minister ordering police to break the law and booed him. The minister is a former law professor. This same minister recently told the state that he has no legal power to direct police actions, highlighting the contradiction that is coming from Kipchumba Murkomen in his recent statements, but also highlighting the fact that Kipchumba Murkomen's previous statement on him reporting negatively in matters concerning Kenya does not affect him at all. One thing that is certain is that Kenyans are watching, and this time people are not going to buy the whole media is the enemy script. This is a very old script, in fact. People have seen what censorship looks like. They've seen protest coverage getting banned, and now they are simply pushing back, because when Larry shows footage of people marching in the streets, it is not to shame Kenya. It is to show Kenya, the real Kenya, the Kenya that's fighting, demanding better and making noise. And if the truth makes you uncomfortable, maybe it's not the journalist you should be blaming. So let us know your take regarding this beef ongoing between Kipchumba Murkomen, the Interior Cabinet Secretary, and the journalist Larry Madowo.